Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I picked up a bag of donuts, the little chocolate donuts. Chuck ate the whole thing.
That's not true. That is not true.
He ate the entire bag.
That's not true.
And then,
in one setting.
And then went to have his eye procedure done in the afternoon. And they were going to put him under. And they said, have you eaten in the last 24 hours? And he said, only a whole bag of donuts.
And then on top of that, I ate a kolache when I was headed home.
Yeah.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
So because of that, I'm in here with Edward and Bart today. Chuck's away. He's going to get his procedure done today.
Assuming he is not currently eating a kolache.
I just had this vision.
Put the food down, Chuck.
Put the breakfast
I
down.
just had this image of him already eating this morning. Because I know he's up. He sent us almost, this is so Chuck-like. Almost just to let us know he was up. He sent something into the group chat this morning.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley saying it was unfair to the Nuggets for playing a game on short rest yesterday. Both teams. Who'd the Nuggets play? I just drew a blank.
Thunder.
Yeah, that's right. Oklahoma City had to win the game. Big game for Oklahoma City. And they had to play it within 36 hours of playing the last game. And Charles Barkley ripped the NBA, said it was unfair. Chuck sent that in the group the group chat while having, a Denver omelet this morning.
He just heard the opener and is panicking now.
He totally forgot again. He got up, made himself an omelet. He's like, I got time on my hands. I got a procedure this morning. Totally forgot you can't eat. And so he'll be out again tomorrow. So
we're not sure when we're going to see Chuck again.
This is like Bart when he had the always positive COVID test.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah. And you're out for like 3 weeks. Sorry, guys. Tested positive again. We thought you were never coming back.
That thing would not go away, man.
Oh, man. You were out for like ever.
Yeah, it was too long. I didn't like it.
I
didn't like it.
Oh, that was painful.
I didn't like it.
Anyhow,
A, because I felt terrible, but B, because I felt terrible because
you were letting us all down.
Yeah.
You felt terrible because, I'll say it for you.
Yeah.
You were letting us all down.
Yeah, that's right. I was.
It feels terrible to let
I
people down.
wanted to be here.
Yeah. It feels terrible to let people down. But I've gotten used to it. It's just like it's something you get used to and doesn't feel as bad anymore. It's just kind of the way things are.
Yeah.
Good Monday morning. What a weekend. What a weekend. Happy Mother's Day, belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there that hopefully had a wonderful day on Sunday. We don't celebrate you enough. And let me just throw this in. We don't celebrate fathers at all, but we don't celebrate you enough. No, for real. Happy Mother's Day. Hope it was a good one. Hope you didn't fail at that. Like, there's certain things you just can't fail at, and that's one of them. That's a bad deal if you fail at Mother's Day. Like, just suck it up and figure out something, Kind of like this morning. I don't know what the deal is, but I went to bed, really early last night, and I woke up feeling like I didn't go to bed at all. I don't know what happens there. I'm going to go get checked out later today.
Maybe you got too much sleep.
Go to a Walmart and have somebody look at me. Tell me what they think. Maybe go to Twitter, take a picture of myself, put it on
go to Twitter.
Oh, man,
what are you thinking
hey, maybe not.
You could go to Twitter and you'd find out
place.
really quick how people felt about.
What a place that is.
Yeah.
What a place that is. It is really something.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's one way to put it.
It's disturbing. It is disturbing.
That's another way to put it. There's a lot of things you can say about it. But as far best I can tell, it's Monday, May 12th, and good morning. Glad you're here. It's National Odometer Day.
Yeah, sweet.
What in the world? How is that a thing?
Would you like to know more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I got a lot of miles on me, but dang, jeez. How can you get like a self-check human odometer checkup?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Like, how many miles do I really have on me? Like, if you were a vehicle, what would you consider yourself to be? where do we?
Well,
find
I would be a brand new car right now.
well,
But that's
Yeah,
just.
I don't know. Today I feel like a '97 Civic, barely hanging on.
How about a 1992 Dodge Dynasty?
Ooh, wow.
That was my first car.
How about a Dodge Dart? My first car was a 1980 Toyota Supra.
Ooh.
It was a crap brown Toyota Supra. Two-door, stick shift,
Okay.
$1,200.
Okay.
Ran like a beaut. Until some old lady ran out in front of me and bam, totaled it. Came out, failure to yield.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, wasn't my fault. Had a guy ride with me. He was like 6'10", believe it or not. His
I don't believe it.
his knees went through the dashboard. Like, that was the end of the vehicle. Like, the dashboard, just like the glove box, just disintegrated. Anyhow, yeah, that was my first car. And I kind of feel like that car this morning. If you were a car, what would you be on National Odometer Day? Send it in on the text line, 877-377-6963.
It is a day that provides an opportunity to learn a little bit about the odometer.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Yeah. Anyhow, Chuck's out getting a procedure today, all because he ate all because I went to the store, did something
It's
for the
really
people
your
on
fault.
the show.
It's really your fault.
Like,
That's-
and he ate the bag of donuts.
Yeah, most of them.
Literally just.
I think I had 2.
He had Edward tossing.
Yeah.
He was trying to have Edward throw it across the room into his mouth.
It was like a dog show.
Yeah.
We're doing tricks.
He's like, I got a procedure later. Throw me another one. And so he's out today. So I got to do the show solo with you two, whatever they call you on Twitter.
Yeah, not very nice things.
And how about them Razorbacks? How about them Hogs not getting swept? Huh? How about Dave Van Horn and the Hogs? I mean, you knew they were going to win the game yesterday, right?
Oh yeah, there's
no way they're getting
they were not
swept.
going to get swept.
They're not getting swept.
It was a really good win for our team, obviously. We just pitched extremely well. Got out of a couple jams, got a couple big hits, put together that 4-run inning after being down 2, and then just pitched our way to the end. And this is a tough place to win and to hold on to games, and proud of the team for bouncing back.
Man, if you watch games, you understand this. If you don't watch games, maybe you don't. I say that because I get it when I watch the games. If I don't watch the games, maybe I don't get it as well. But, man, this league is so good. I mean, it's like the teams you're playing are your own team. They have all the same things you have. And it's just every weekend. It's rare when those teams aren't playing well. And you get maybe fooled a little bit when you play a team that's not playing particularly well. But LSU is so stinking good. Texas is so good. But I did kind of call this, not like anybody could, but Texas kind of they've kind of hit the skids a little bit. Like they lost the Florida series, they lost at Arkansas. You can't play at just the highest level the whole year, and so they've hit their valley a little bit. And Arkansas's hit their valley a little bit, and they're kind of fighting back, through it. But, the other thing that happens is people figure you out a little bit, and then you got to figure out what to do about that. I'm talking about, at bats, pitchers figuring out, how to pitch a certain batter. And then you got to kind of figure out what to do with that. And all of these guys are good, and they will. It's going to be interesting to see who's playing their best at the end of the season. Like, who's going to get hot from here?
Right, and it's crazy when you actually when you just kind of take a step back. Like, yeah, on the surface, you say that Arkansas's lost 4 of its last 5 series. That doesn't sound good, but they didn't get swept in any of them. They were playing good teams. They are still second in the SEC.
That's what's crazy.
And they're fifth in the RPI.
That's what's that's
like they're just losing to really good teams.
How do you say those two things, together? That they've
but
lost 4 of their last 5
better.
series,
Like,
and
there's
they're
no
in
question.
second place in the SEC.
They need to get better. Like they've got some things they need to figure out. They need to find some more starting pitching. So somebody needs to emerge behind Zach Root.
It's good to see Parker Coyle back in the game last night.
You're
six pitches, 6 strikes to close it out.
Your Saturday, your Sunday starters each only faced 12 batters. That's kind of been a trend as of late. When they've dropped these series. So, look, they got some stuff they got to figure out. They got to get better. But what we know about Dave Van Horn and his teams is they're going to be playing their best baseball when it matters most.
Well, you hope. I mean, that's.
I mean, we have that track. We have that track record,
and you expect it, and you hope that happens. And who's going to get hot at the end? Right. I totally expect them to win the series against Tennessee. I wouldn't expect a sweep, but I expect them to win the series.
Sure.
But it's at this point, it's more about just how you're feeling about yourself going into the postseason. Like, are you confident? Are you on a roll? And by the way, is there something at stake? Like, do they have to win 2 out of 3? We'll talk to Matt Jones, who covers baseball for Whole Hog Sports, at 7:00 this morning. Do you have to win 2 of 3 to be a top 8 national seed? Do you have to win 1 game against Tennessee to be a top 8 national seed? Or what's at stake this weekend against Tennessee? I think they're going to be a top 8 national seed, but I also expect them to win, 2 or 3 against Tennessee. Like, home field advantage is significant. At LSU, at places like Arkansas, it's significant, and that'll be a huge weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The series this weekend. Softball, just a really devastating blown lead. I hate saying blown lead.
No, OU's so good.
But OU's so
good.
We always just talk about teams choking or blowing leads or whatever. I mean, it's a whole game, and you had 2 really good teams, and Oklahoma's really a tough out. I mean, they're the dominant program in college softball.
They've won 4 straight national titles.
And
there's a reason for that.
And they came back, and you just wanted to hang on and win that. But for the SEC to then say we have bad weather days, so we're gonna do
don't even
kissing cousins
don't
thing,
get me started.
And we're gonna give I mean, dang, really? We're gonna decide on this where it just means more. We're gonna decide a championship by giving both teams the trophy.
They had time to play the game Saturday. They could have played it Saturday. They could have played it Sunday morning. You can't.
Well.
It can't be
I get that they want everybody to be fresh as a daisy for the postseason. Like the NCAA tournament starts now, the regional, we'll get into that in a second. The regional, coming up this week. But listen, you can't have a tagline, it just means more, and then give away championships. Can you? I mean, it's just my opinion. Like, come on.
This wouldn't. Here's my problem with it.
Texas and Oklahoma split the championship. They didn't play the championship game.
Texas A&M.
A&M, the other part of Texas. Texas A&M and Oklahoma split the championship because of bad weather. So they just said we're awarding a co-championship. We're not going to play the game.
Here's my problem with it. That wouldn't happen in baseball. They wouldn't do that in baseball. They wouldn't declare co-champions. Wouldn't happen. If there was something in basketball, like some sort of.
You don't think they'd do that in football?
Yeah, no. It wouldn't happen in baseball. It wouldn't happen in basketball. It wouldn't happen in football. So why is it happening here? It's a bad look for the SEC.
Have you written a letter to Greg Sankey?
No. Would you like me to?
Yes.
We could do that live on air today. That would kill a segment.
Dear Greg, you know how much
Shame on you.
You know how much I like you. You know how much respect I have for you.
I do. I like Greg.
You are a great person. And he is. I like Greg a lot. But my gosh, Greg, what have you done?
Bad.
What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. You can't say it just means more and then split a championship. Come on. What are we doing here?
Why don't you just give a championship to everybody? Just hand them out. If we're handing them out, just hand them out.
I gotta admit, it did make the loss to Oklahoma feel worse because you're like, dang, we would have had a championship.
Seriously.
Didn't have to play another game. It does kind of feel worse. 6:17. It's Monday. Good morning. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. We're just kind of wading through it, figuring it out with you this morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got the experience and they've got your back.
So don't go it alone. Make the right call. Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I knew I had to show up because after Chuck does a game, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't feel like there's a world where Chuck is not showing up and also lets us know.
That's true. If I don't show up, you need to try to contact me because there's an issue.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah. We know that Chuck is out today for an eye procedure. One that was supposed to happen last week until he ate a bag of donuts. Now I got to be gone Monday, guys. Thanks, Chuck. No, we wish him well, and he'll be fine. He'll be back tomorrow. But it was funny. It was so funny. Given the fact that Edward and Chuck were having the donut Olympics in here. Like tossing donuts. By the way, it's never going to happen. You're never going to throw one across the room and land it.
It almost happened. There was an in and out situation.
If Chuck was better, it would have happened. I mean, it was right. It was right on the tongue. And it just rimmed out.
Stop. That's awful. Oh, man. Channel Ben.
What's all?
Channel, I just don't want to hear it. Channel Ben, good morning.
Well, hey, guys, I want y'all to know that I believe in the Omaha Hogs, but I also believe in the name of some of us people that love Razorback sports so much that we've, nicknamed them the Heart Attack Hogs.
Wow.
And no matter what sport it is, ladies, men, whatever sport it is, they're the Heart Attack Hogs to a lot of us, to some of us anyway.
That just means you care. That just means you really care. You just really care.
Okay.
That like you know what I mean? Because
yes, sir.
Because
yes,
you're just hanging on every moment. And by the way,
yes, sir. You're right.
I have become that person too. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Like for years, I took pride in trying to be someone who was not going to get emotionally attached to the team and be just like, a quote journalist. And then I realized like I wanted them to win. And so then I just sort of shifted to, okay, you can root for them, but you can't emotionally get attached to it and then become unreasonable in talking about it. It can't. But I think everybody's like this. I don't think whether it's the Boston Red Sox and you work for the Boston Globe or you're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and you're covering a team. If you're around long enough, you're around the people, you get to know the people, you want them to win. And your job, in my opinion, in the media is to try not to let emotions cloud your judgment when you talk about it. But, man, I want them to win just like you do. I like every one of them, every game. I'm like, dadgummit, but because I've been in this field for so long, I also it doesn't ruin my weekend or anything. But, man, I feel that during the game, like hanging on every pitch. And you're just like, Ben, did somebody come in? Did they come in and interrupt you while you were on the radio?
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. No big deal. Left lane hammer down. I can't remember his name. The coach.
Morris, Chad.
There you go. Yeah, Chad Morris. I got you. Yeah. Well, even when he was here in his last few games, I was trying to find people that would I could watch the game with. And they would say, no, I need to mow the grass, I need to clean the commode, or whatever. I mean, it was just something they weren't going to watch the game because it hurt too much, or it wasn't very much fun to watch. But I was still, I was watching every game to the end of it. That's how bad I had it. Have had it.
That was bad.
But, it was.
That got so bad that when you're playing Western Kentucky, you're actually rooting for Ty Story. You are. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
We're going to put it in the left lane and pop the clutch and put the hammer down.
Yeah. That you just start rooting for bad things to happen.
Let's see how bad this can get.
No, it's true. I don't. Was anybody rooting for the Hogs in that game? At some point in the game, didn't everyone shift to like, let's get this over with?
Yeah, well, in that situation,
which
because
I
you
will
knew
always say is
was
terrible. Don't like that's crazy. Yeah. But in that situation, it was. I've never seen anything that bad.
You knew a loss was going to be the end of a coach who just was not working.
We don't talk about this much. Was that was the worst 2 years of any era of all time, right? Is there anything that competes with that?
No, I mean, look, like I've said it jokingly a few times now since we started the show, but I mean, Chad Morris is the worst football hire in the history of the
like
SEC.
Chad Morris.
It
like,
just
as a
is.
human being, I like Chad.
Yeah,
like,
it's nothing
I don't
against
even
him
want to
personally.
be like. I hate to even talk about a human like this, but my gosh, that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was.
All right, everybody sitting up. Everybody feet on the floor.
You knew right then that it was not good.
Did you really?
Did
Did you? I heard people complimenting that.
I'm kidding.
Remember when he talked about the trash, like the trash test of leaving a wad of paper on the floor and seeing if, he'd leave it there and a recruit would come in and he'd be like, if he didn't pick it up, he's not for us.
And then we left one on the ground for Clay.
And Clay wrote about it.
We should do that for Chuck tomorrow.
Clay wrote a whole column. Listen, Clay wrote a whole column about it. Okay. It was just, a long column about Chad Morris and all this in-depth stuff that Chad Morris does. And one of the things he mentioned was that. And so I left a giant wad in this studio, that's been rebuilt now. But back when it was for the other show, there was a wad of paper right there. Right there. Clay came in and he sat right where I'm sitting. He had to walk by it. And he just kind of walked around it and sat down. And I was like, bad guy. Bad guy can't play on this team. You can't be on this team.
It's a good test.
And that was the beginning of the end. We've had to work our way
Clay
back.
or Chad?
For Clay. The whole show went down after that. Nothing's been the same since, to be honest with you. I mean,
there's a lot of truth to that.
I've been we've been kind of fighting our way back ever since. Yeah. Man, you got that trash. 877-377-6963. General Ben, thanks for calling in. I don't know who interrupted Ben, by the way.
I don't know. Somebody
walking in.
somebody definitely walked in. Yeah.
He's like, that's fine. He wasn't worried about it. Let me tell you about our friends at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Turning houses into homes since 1978. Chuck's not here to tell you about it, but I am. A personal story. I mean, my son and his wife, my daughter-in-law, King and Micah, got married a little over 3.5 years ago. They're expecting in August. I'm going to be a granddad. They're like, we want to move into a house. We want to get a house. And so first-time home buyers hooked them up with Weichert. And the experience was they literally said to me, it's like, having a super agent on your side of the table. The amount of money they found they didn't know they could have, whether it was first-time home buyer, rural development, all the things that go into buying a home that you don't know. You need an expert on your side. You need somebody that understands all the things that, some people love learning everything there is to learn, but you're not in it every day. And there are things that you might not know or understand that they're on your side to help you understand and get you the best deal possible. It'd be crazy to be buying or selling a home and not have that expertise, in my opinion. But the folks at Weichert have been doing it for decades. And they can help you, and maybe it's something on the other side where you're wondering how much equity you have in your home. When's the time to sell? Do you need to sell? Do you want to sell? You don't have to want to do it right now just to get the education about it. You can just check out Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, and let them know, hey, I'm just looking right now, or I'd like to know how much equity I have in my home. Weichert Realtors, the official realtors of the Chuck and Bo Show. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978. How was that, Chuck? I know you're listening. Good morning. Everybody's welcome to their opinion. That's just flat out wrong.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet Card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's. Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there. Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I was really dorky. I'm sure it's a shock for you guys to realize
that. Right?
Oh, I was a total dork.
What a great story.
Now I'm an older dork.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wow. Here's my gripe this morning. I can't read the rest of it. Let's see. Let's click on it. Do we want to read this text?
It's a fair point.
Okay.
It's a fair point.
Here's my gripe this morning. On Friday, the Oklahoma State versus Indiana game is scheduled to be on ESPN2, but the Hogs versus St. Louis is relegated to ESPN Plus.
Yeah, that's true.
What are we talking about?
So that's the NCAA softball Fayetteville Regional. For some reason, the Oklahoma State Indiana game will be on in the afternoon on ESPN2. And then Arkansas, the number 4 overall seed in the entire tournament, will be playing St. Louis on ESPN Plus. Or what is apparently going to be rebranded as ESPN, which is going to make this whole thing very complicated for telling people where they can watch a game. Oh, it's on ESPN. You mean the channel? You mean the app? What do you mean?
Well, I think we need to graduate on graduation week. I think we need to graduate to not caring about linear television anymore. We're very fortunate. If you're in the SEC, you're an SEC fan, we're all very fortunate that you can see virtually every game. And just quit even wondering where it is and just go to the Watch ESPN app. And I know, like, if you don't have it, that's a pain. I get it. But it's also $100 a year or less, and you're going to have every game, almost every game. If it's at an SEC venue, you're going to have the game. Every SEC school, and this is one of the great things the SEC network brought to fans. And when they did this deal with ESPN, they all had to build their own broadcast facility. And so every school has the ability to stream live events from their campus. And that was like where we are in baseball and softball now with being able to watch every game. It may seem like it's disappointing that it's not on the SEC network or it's not on actual ESPN or whatever, but we've come a cajillion miles in being able to view these events. And if you just get in that lane and you're like, I can always watch the game, okay, great. If the only time that it's going to really bother you is if you're at a restaurant and they don't have that. But almost everybody has that now. They just stream it on a smart TV.
Better have it,
but if you're in a hotel room and you may not be able to watch it on TV, you can watch it on your iPad or your computer or whatever if you have it.
Now,
I get the inconvenience of not being like on your remote and all that. But if you just, that's why I mean, graduate to this other way of thinking, and it's just a lot less annoying because it's always there.
There are certainly some issues that still need to be worked out, right? Like you have to have a TV subscription to be able to watch some games.
That's fair.
Even though you're paying for the app, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, that doesn't make sense.
And the fact that you have to log in almost every time you open the app.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's the best app in the world, but at least it's there.
No,
your
point is well made.
Yeah.
It's
Positive Monday, Bart.
It's incredible that we have the opportunity to watch as many things as we want to watch.
Positive Monday. That's what I'm going with today. But the phone lines are open if you want to gripe. Text lines are open. Not that you needed me to tell you.
No, I think we're all very well aware.
877-377-6963. Call me, talk to me. I kind of feel lonely. Chuck's out with an eye procedure today. Hopefully he didn't make himself like a giant omelet this morning before going in and he can actually get it done. My man. Davidson Cersei. You can follow us anywhere also. Like speaking of streaming, you can hear the show on the Hit That Line app anywhere. Anywhere, anytime.
Take it with you.
Brought to you by Taco Bell. David, good morning.
Good morning, guys. First of all, I've got several things to talk about, so I'll just have to pick a couple. First of all, I don't want to hear anybody grapping. You can't watch the softball. You can't watch the baseball. It's $10.99 a month for ESPN Plus. That's the price of one can of tobacco or a cheeseburger down at Dairy Queen. I've got a buddy that's got hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in stock, and he won't pay $10.99 a month. He listens to it on the radio. So I call him when we hit a home run and say, "Man, did you see that?" It's great. I love it. But anyway, one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen is when I saw that they had co-champions for the softball. Someone should apologize to both schools, should apologize to the fans. It's ridiculous. And as far as whether or not the girls blew the game against Oklahoma, when it was 6-1 in the third inning, my buddy one of my buddies called me and he said, "Man, did you think we would be doing this to Oklahoma?" Is in the third inning, 6-1. I said, "We need 2 or 3 more runs. I guarantee you." He said, "You're the biggest pessimist I've ever seen." I said, "No, this is Oklahoma.
Yeah.
2 more runs might win it, but I'd feel more comfortable with 3. Well, that's exactly what happened. It was Oklahoma. We didn't blow anything, okay? And before I go, let me say this, and I don't want to be, you can chastise me when I hang up or whatever, but going into postseason, when it comes to the men's baseball team, I'm not sure going into postseason that I don't know what kind of chance we have when you have one starter who you have confidence in going 5 innings. I'm afraid we're behind the 8 ball in that area, but if Ole Miss can win last year, we can win this year. But that's just the way I feel about it. I feel I don't know.
You're
so
speaking.
How do y'all feel about that?
Well, you're spitting some truth out right there. I mean, I know it doesn't feel great when you're saying it, but it's true. That's a real thing. Now they have shown the ability to be where they are in the standings with all of that, still being what it is. Like it was starting pitching. They've still managed to get to this point. But that's a real thing. Like you get into a regional, it's a bigger deal in a regional in the College World Series than maybe a super regional where you're just playing another weekend series. That isn't that interesting too. Like I think the hardest part of the tournament is the regional and then the World Series, which you're basically playing another regional.
Yeah.
The super regional, if you get there, I mean, obviously depending on who you play and how hot they are, but that's a more manageable situation of a 3-game series than what you're dealing with in a regional and the College World Series. And my point is sometimes it's harder to win your regional than it is to win the super regional. But that's a real thing. Yeah. Them figuring that out is a real thing. Now, the good news is they've been dealing with it all year. And so they've got experience with it. But it does call into question, like if they had 2 to 3 great starters right now and you're getting 5, 6, 7 innings, which is tougher. That's a big ask. But if you have that, you obviously feel a lot better. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank, the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show. Friendly people, friendly professionals, convenient locations all over Arkansas to help you bank better. What does bank better look like? Well, it's convenience, it's customer service, it's answering all your questions, it's being able to get what you need when you need it. FSbank.com online. First Security Bank, member FDIC. All right, 877-377-6963. By the way, we're doing a first ever Hog Pod Live on Tuesday from 6 to 7 in Fayetteville at Tusker's Tavern with third base coach Bobby Wernes. We're going to talk about his career, the season, what's ahead, and they're giving tickets away to the Tennessee game at this Hog Pod Live. Tuesday, tomorrow night, 6 to 7, Michigan crossover, Tusker's Tavern, next to Eastside Grill. Come by and check out a Hog Pod Live, meet Bobby Wernes, maybe win some tickets to the Tennessee game this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday series at Baum Walker.
I'm amazed at the number of people who think they're smart.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best car wash and get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off end-of-the-year savings this May. Drive home a new 2025 Chevy Silverado starting at just $34,000. Get up to $6,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Tahoe or Colorado. And up to $13,000 off a new 2025 Crew Cab Silverado. Don't miss these huge savings. Only at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there, maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
was just thinking this morning on the drive in, boy, it's going to be nice to see Chuck. And I don't usually think that.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Good text this morning. Keep them coming. Yeah. Seth and Rogers going 8-7 on the road in the SEC is pretty amazing. That's real tough in this conference. He's right about that.
100%.
Now, Justin in Hot Springs, who identifies himself as JT's buddy. JT from Hot Springs. I'm JT's buddy. That's how I identify myself sometimes as well. I'm Chuck's friend. Chuck Barrett. I know Chuck Barrett. Do you? He's out with an eye procedure today. I understand they're playing good teams, but going forward, they are all good. Yes, they are. So, what are you saying? Are you saying that they could lose those games too? You are correct. They could also win. It's funny because I feel the same way as Justin in Hot Springs does. You want to have confidence that you're going to win in the postseason, but the reality is it's a tough proposition. Like, you're going to go play tough games, and hopefully the experience that you've had all year pays off, and hopefully you're playing well at the right time. I mean, that's what it means. It's not like you're dominating the world. Nobody is. There's nobody dominating the world. I mean, this is what makes sport or sports great. It's what makes it fun. The idea, the best part of it is you're in the mix. You're in the mix. You can win. You might not, but you can. You're in it. And not everyone is at that level. You know, it's a select. What is there? How many teams do you think could win it all? I mean, obviously we're going to get to 8. That'll get to the College World Series. But who do legitimately, is there 5, 6, 7 that you feel really good about maybe winning it all? Arkansas is in that mix.
I think so.
Matt and Harrison, I like when the games are on regular TV because I can record it, I can pause it, I can do all those things. I can't do it when I'm streaming. That's also true, but again, I would say the fact that they're all available to you is a big deal. That hasn't always been the case.
By the way, Bo, just as we're having this conversation, Arkansas is still the 4-1 favorite to win the national title in college baseball.
They're the favorite?
Yeah. 4-1.
Oaklawn Sports.
LSU 6-1, Tennessee 8-1, Texas 15-1.
Wow, Texas plummeted. They were up there with Arkansas before that sweep. By the way, Flight by Yingling's now in a skinny can. I got my hands on a skinny can this weekend. I don't know what it is. It's just different.
No, yeah,
I like it.
I like that. Yeah,
it's really it's Flight by Yingling.
Yeah, that's the move.
It's it's the taste of a Yingling, but a light beer. 95 calories. The next generation of light beer. It's Flight by Yingling. You can raise the bar and get it in a skinny can. Get it in a 16-ounce resealable aluminum bottle. But that skinny can's a game changer. What is up with the way our minds work? Like what makes that different?
Skinny can. Less calories.
I don't know, but it's just
it's good marketing. I don't know what it is.
It is, but that whole skinny can thing's a thing.
Yeah.
If they come out with that Diet Coke, I'm in trouble. Flight by Yingling, the official beer of the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what on time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
It's amazing how many people will follow you just to tell you how terrible you are. And I was like, well, why are you following me? That's Twitter.
I know it is.
Think about that.
I feel smarter not being on.
Think about following people that you don't enjoy following.
Now, look, I like
People
stirring
are
stuff
looking
up
for
as
a
much as anyone. I mean, you guys know that. But some of this stuff on Twitter, it's like, you people are just looking for a fight. Bo could say the sky's blue. Somebody that doesn't like Bo, by God, that's a black sky.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, let's turn on the Chuck and Bo show.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
It was a really good win for our team, obviously. We just pitched extremely well. Got out of a couple jams, got a couple big hits, put together that 4-run inning after being down 2, and then just pitched our way to the end. And this is a tough place to win and to hold on to games, and proud of the team for bouncing back.
DVH, Arkansas avoids the sweep, and they win Game 3 at LSU yesterday. So congratulations to them. Big win. 7-4 win in the series finale Sunday afternoon. By clinching their 18th SEC win of the season, the Razorbacks became the first team since LSU with 8 consecutive campaigns of 18 or more SEC wins. And they're in second place in the conference. Matt Jones, Whole Hog Sports, covering Arkansas baseball, has a daily podcast at Whole Hog Sports as well. Matt, thanks for hopping on with us to talk about the series and where Arkansas is. What were your thoughts on what happened this weekend?
Well, I think the whole series came down to a couple, 3 plays that were made by LSU after 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. If Arkansas is able to win that game and they play like they did yesterday, then they win the series. And so, it's kind of how a lot of series go. You had one team kind of control one game, one team control another, and then the third game was a toss-up. So I didn't think that there was really, Arkansas did not play well on Saturday, really in any form or fashion. Their pitching wasn't very good. I didn't think their at-bats were that great on Saturday. But you take that away, and it was a really competitive series against a good team on their home field. LSU's 30-5 at Alex Box Stadium. That's tied with Arkansas for the most home wins in the country this year. And the thing about college baseball is this year, nobody will step up and take the mantle as the number one team right now. It's changing weekly. And what I mean by number one team is who's going to be the top overall seed in the NCAA tournament. 1 week you might think it's Arkansas. 1 week you might think it's Texas. I think after this weekend, if I was being influenced by the results of this weekend, I would say it's LSU. And, it's like these teams are just really beating up on each other. And I think it probably kind of shows that there's just a lot of balance in not only the SEC, but among all the teams that are right there in that jumble at the top of college baseball. It's hard to get a feel for who the team is to beat this year. Like I said, right now I would say it's probably LSU, but that's influenced by what I saw this weekend and those 2 starting pitchers in a lineup that I think was pretty good.
Yeah, no, those are all great points. Do you think the Tennessee series that's coming next, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Fayetteville, has an impact on whether Arkansas is or isn't a top 8 national seed? Do they have to win 1, 2 games to kind of secure that spot?
Well, I think they would feel really secure about their position if they won a game. You don't want to get swept on your home field. And, they're right now, they've got 18 SEC wins. The stat that gets mentioned a lot this time of year is that only one SEC team in the last, I think, 9 or 10 years, it was South Carolina in 2016. Only one SEC team that's won 20 SEC games has not been a top 8 seed. And so that's kind of the magic number, or at least it has been in past years. And there's only 3 SEC teams that can reach that mark. And I think there's, probably 5 SEC teams that are in the conversation for a top 8 seed right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if all 5 of them were top 8 seeds. So, what I mean by that is that there are going to be, I think this year, SEC teams that have less than 20 wins in the conference that are going to be national seeds. I mean, Georgia, there's not a lot of doubt that they're going to be there, and they've only got 16 SEC wins. So, I think more than anything, you just want to keep playing well and kind of take and not necessarily playing well, because I know they've lost some series in there, but you don't want to get swept on your home field and go run the risk of going to Hoover and maybe going 0-1 and then going in there and sweating a little bit on Memorial Day. I think if they win a game, they're probably a national seed. I think if they win 2 games, they definitely are. And I think there's probably a chance that they are, even if they were to get swept. But like I said, I just think you sweat a little bit more come Selection Monday if that's the case.
Yeah, and it would be shocking, quite frankly, for Arkansas to get swept at home. I mean, as good as Tennessee is, as good as the league is, I mean, it's like you didn't expect Arkansas to get swept at LSU. You just kind of expect them to win that game yesterday. But these teams, Matt, they're so good. They're like a mirror of Arkansas. Arkansas still got some starting pitching to figure out. They got Coyle back. They got another lefty back this weekend. What do you see moving forward with Arkansas on the mound?
Well, I think their 1 and 2 starters are, they're solidified. Zach Root's their number 1. I think Gage Wood's their number 2. He had a hiccup at LSU the other night. I still kind of have to remind myself that he's only 3.5 weeks now removed from coming back from that shoulder injury that kept him out for 8 weeks. You take away the LSU game. I thought he pitched great at Florida. I thought he pitched great against Texas. So there's a track record there that I think he's going to be okay. You just never know. I mean, look at the last 2 years. They had the regional set up the way they wanted to, and Hagen Smith had the 2 worst games of his career in the regional games against TCU and Kansas State. So you just never know how it's going to go from weekend to weekend. But I think Root is number 1, Wood is number 2, and I kind of think they're going to keep going TBA for Game 3 and just try to piece that together with whoever they have left over. I thought they did a good job in Game 2 against LSU when it became apparent that that game was going to get away from them. They didn't use their best relievers at the end of that game. They saved them for Game 3 because they knew that was going to be a real important game for them to get out of there with 1 win. I thought Jay Johnson, LSU's coach, had a great quote after the game. He said, "There's probably not another team in the country that can roll out that collection of arms on a Sunday afternoon." And he made the point, they throw Parker Coyle. He said, that's a pretty good dude to go to as your 13th pitcher out of the bullpen for the weekend.
Yeah.
And so, I think that sometimes you kind of rely on your bullpen to win some games for you. And I think that that's probably how Game 3 is going to go for them this weekend against Tennessee. And I say that because there's just not a whole lot of Game 3s left. I think you mentioned this earlier. You get into the SEC tournament, you get into the regionals, it's a different format and a different feel than these weekend series. The Super Regional is as close as you're going to see to what they're playing in these SEC weekends now.
I mean, I feel like the pitching staff has depth. There's anybody at any time, you don't know how it's going to go, but at any time you feel like somebody can come out of the bullpen and throw up 3 or 4 innings for you. And in those situations, in tournament situations, that's invaluable to have that kind of depth. It's almost like if you had to pick, do you have, 2 to 3 really solid starters and you're kind of suspect in the bullpen, or do you have 2 or 3, pretty good starters and you're really good out of the bullpen? I might go with the bullpen in a tournament situation if I had to pick. But I feel like they've got all that. They've got starters that can give you innings. And they've got a deep bullpen. And I think we all struggle with how to feel about this team because we have such high expectations. And I want to ask you about that. Like, when you're watching this team, as you have all year and have for many years now, and then you see them struggle and lose 4 out of 5 series, sweep Texas in the middle of that, and you hear from fans like, man, I don't know what to think about these guys. What do you say when people are kind of skeptical about these Razorbacks?
Well, I don't think that – I think going back to what I said earlier, every team at the top right now you could be skeptical of because every one of them has been inconsistent at some point this season. I mean, just this last weekend, Texas, who's number one, they lose a series to Florida. Georgia, who's in the top 5 or 6, they lose a series to Alabama. North Carolina split a series with North Carolina State this weekend. I think North Carolina's number 3 team, and they split a series with NC State because their third game got rained out. Clemson, a top 10 team, they got beat by Duke, and this keeps happening every weekend. And so I think what people probably need to understand is that there is so much more balance, especially in the SEC and the ACC this year, than maybe we've ever seen before. And so I don't look at it so much as Arkansas being inconsistent or Texas or whoever. I just look at it as this is what the season has. This is kind of the personality that the season has taken on. And I think that probably people pay more attention, and I say, just kind of your everyday fan maybe pays a little bit more attention to the results of series than I think the selection committee will. I think the selection committee is looking at 4 things. I think they're looking at total wins. I think they're looking at quad 1 wins. I think they're looking at RPI, and I think they're looking at strength of schedule. And I don't really think that there's and maybe I'm wrong, but on that one sheet, when they're evaluating a team, I don't think it's going to say, hey, they were 5-5 or 6-4 or 4-6 in their conference series this year. I think that they will evaluate a series. If Arkansas and Texas are both in the running to be the number 3 national seed, I think that they'll evaluate the head-to-head series between them. But I don't think they're looking at the results of series the way that some people are. I think that it's about more the collective body of work. And yeah, Arkansas has lost 4 or 5 SEC series now, but they're still 18-8 in the SEC, and that's the second best record in the league. They haven't gotten swept, and I think that's a big key to this season. So it's weird. It's a hard season to explain because I just can't remember a whole lot that have been like this. Like I said, whether it be Arkansas in 21 or Tennessee in 22 or some other teams in other years, usually someone by this point in the season has separated themselves from the rest of the pack, or maybe 2 teams like LSU and Wake Forest did a couple of years ago. Nobody's separating themselves right now. And I have a hard time remembering another year when that's been the case.
Well, and Clay's texted me, and he's got a point that you've pretty much made. But you got 15 of 16 teams in this league that are really trying at baseball. Like they're putting resources and effort in the portal and all that. And there's just so many good teams. And for Arkansas to be where they are, I know as a Razorback fan, it feels like, oh man, we're in danger of not pulling this thing off. But you're still right there. Of all of these teams that are playing great, you've got 18 wins. I mean, that's it, and we'll probably get to 20. I mean, I'd be surprised if they don't win 2 of 3 against Tennessee. Matt, I think you explained it well. Thanks for hopping on with us. Appreciate the time, man.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
Yep, Matt Jones, Whole Hog Sports. He's right about. I mean, it's a great perspective. It's like, how do you view things? Do you view your team struggling, or do you view them being right there in the mix at the top of a very challenging league? You know what I think is one of the most underrated thing in all of sports? Schedule. Who you play. I just think we blow right past that all the time. Who you play is everything. Like, it just determines so much. We sometimes get fooled by teams who haven't played as difficult a schedule. We talk about it a lot in college football, like who deserves to be in the playoff. But I don't think, we were talking about this the other day when it comes to success for Arkansas in football. Overlooking your schedule and who you play leads to, I think, faulty analysis of where you are or where you aren't. And what you're dealing with right now in baseball is just a really difficult schedule, which is how you can lose 4 or 5 series and still be second in the league because you've won more than your fair share also. 877-377-6963 and call or text the show. We're brought to you in part by Oaklawn. The Oaklawn Sports app is Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. You can bet with Oaklawn. If you don't have it, you can download it in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, and you can get in on the action. The odds to win the College World Series. Arkansas is the favorite to win the College World Series. Great odds for Arkansas softball to get to Oklahoma City and perhaps win it all. They've been playing great. Had a tough loss to Oklahoma in the SEC tournament. The regional set, we'll get into that coming up. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets at Oaklawn Sports. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm Dr. Scotty Bolding, a native Arkansan oral and maxillofacial surgeon. One of my goals is to make Arkansans healthier.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, Precedent. We'd love to help.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life, too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
see and hear
Tell me
things others
something I don't
see
know.
and hear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of the appeal, right?
Listen.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck is out with an eye procedure today. Back tomorrow. We'll be happy to have him back. Don't tell him we said that though. We don't need him thinking that.
Well, we know he's not listening right now.
Yeah. Well, is he already in? Is he in the?
Is he under the knife? Yeah.
It's happening as we speak. It is May 12th. Today is National Odometer Day. We have text coming into the show. It's National Roll Back Your Odometer Day. You know, that's it's not good. Can't do. But if you were a car, what would you be? How do you feel today? Like, how many miles do you feel like you have on you? We've had some responses to that. So old vehicles.
It's because you're feeling like you got a lot.
Well,
of miles,
I'm feeling
right?
like an '87 Honda Civic with like 600,000 miles.
I think you said 92
Yeah,
in the first hour.
I've rolled it back. I did. It was a 90. I think it was 97. Now it's an 87. But National Odometer Day, National Women's Checkup Day. Gonna be in the 70s today. Warming up.
Get outside.
So enjoy this. Summer's coming. When's the first day of summer actually? What day on the calendar?
We've got a ways to go still.
It feels like summer.
June 20th.
I mean, it's not hot, but it's nice out.
June 20th.
I'm appreciative. I'm ready for some dry weather, and then it won't be long until we need some rain, I'm sure. But I can take a break for now.
Yeah.
If you're playing, if you're playing
week.
golf, like the next time I play golf, I hope it's dry. I can't remember. Like I played golf a handful of times this year. It's been wet every time, and I've lost all confidence. I can't play at all. Like I don't even know if I'm going to play anymore.
Okay, well,
it's just brutal.
Let's
like
not
I'm just
get carried
terrible.
away.
Terrible. Just awful. Speaking of awful, people are texting and they want us to make fun of Texas A&M. They want us to take some shots at the Aggies. Missouri got off the schneid.
The what?
That's what Chris Berman would say, right?
Yeah,
they got off the schneid.
That's exactly.
Winless Missouri won 3 games. They swept A&M in College Station.
Yeah, Texas A&M should be ashamed of themselves. They really should be.
A&M's supposed to be good.
That Missouri team's one of the worst college baseball
number 1
teams
Texas
I've
A&M.
ever seen.
Preseason number 1. Missouri wins 3 games. They go sweep A&M in College Station.
Like what?
How?
That's preposterous.
What happened? So I was mentioning this to Edward during the break about people wanting us to talk about it and make fun of A&M, and he said, "Yeah, but that comes at the what?
Comes at the cost of applauding Mizzou."
Yeah.
That's
But I mean, they're so bad, it's fine.
Yeah,
that's fair.
They're truly one of the worst major conference baseball teams I've ever seen, and they swept the preseason number 1 team.
If I could will one thing to happen, I'm going to go back to this. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. If I could will one thing to happen in football season, it will be for Arkansas to beat Missouri. I care about whatever else happens, but for this moment, I don't. Just beat Missouri. And it's unacceptable to continue losing to Missouri in football. It's unacceptable.
I agree.
You cannot. I can give you explanations as to why other things happen, why you lose to other teams, whatever. I cannot explain that. It is unacceptable, and it put it up all over the building. I don't care if you want to over-focus on that. Please do. Like if you're Ohio State and you wake up every day thinking about beating Michigan or vice versa, I know this isn't a rivalry. First of all, you haven't won, so it can't be. But if you will just beat Missouri, I will feel better. And I think everybody would.
Yeah, I agree.
If you want to talk about one game that makes a fan base feel a certain way about a program, losing to Missouri makes you feel terrible. Go beat Missouri this year. Beat them. By the way, the schedule We talked about it with baseball. The schedule in football is so brutal. And by the way, it's every year. This year, you've got 2 tough non-conference games, 3 really, that you've added to your schedule, which people are talking about as like, who did this? How did this happen? I mean, it's a lot of people in a lot of different positions that left you with this. But man, it's a tough one. But I think Arkansas is going to beat Arkansas State, and I think they'll win at Memphis. Notre Dame at home, that's a tough one. But it could happen. But you have like so many tough games. So many tough games, which makes it so tough in football. And that's the part that just we don't talk about enough. 877-377-6963. If you want to jump in here, we'll get some calls and texts when we come back. Again, Chuck's out with an eye procedure. He'll be back tomorrow. And, I mean, hopefully, I'm interested. We should have done like a before and after eye test with Chuck.
He's gonna show up tomorrow without glasses.
He's gonna have what? He's not wearing glasses anymore.
That was the whole point of the procedure.
He's not gonna have to wear glasses anymore.
That was the whole point of the procedure. Well, I know his eyesight was going to be better, but I didn't know it was going to. I didn't know it was going to completely take away the need for glasses.
That's what he said. He's going to be able to call a football game without wearing glasses.
McDonald, he said that on the show.
Well, I think he said it. I think he
was
said
I
it
here
to us
amongst us?
Well, I was just wondering if it was another example of me not listening.
Probably
to him.
Probably so.
Because he loves to brag about how he doesn't listen to us.
Yeah.
It's like a badge of honor. I don't listen to what you guys say. Yeah. That's how he makes
puts
it.
his headphones
That's how he
on,
makes it for 3 hours.
Volume
a day.
cranked up to 1 million.
Hey, we've been telling you about WT Equipment, family-owned, locally operated equipment and implement dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. Proud Hog fans, been around for a long time. Known for their top-notch service and community roots, WT Equipment offers a full lineup of trusted brands like New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and the legendary Bobcat. With an expert staff, dependable equipment, hometown values, WT Equipment, and again, the natural state's best Bobcat dealership, machines built to handle any challenge. You'll find WT Equipment to be great people with great equipment that you can use to get your job done and get it done right. Back in a minute, the Chuck and Bo Show. It's Monday morning, 7:30. Good morning. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is
It was
your
a really good win
Hot
for our
Springs
team, obviously.
Enjoy
We just
plush
pitched extremely well.
Upscale dining and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
when you're young, I mean, you want to party. Staying up late's no big deal. I mean, you're into the whole spirit of things. But you do get to a point in life where it's like, I do kind of like not having to deal with people.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I feel like a 1980 Ford Fairmont.
Ooh,
that's a text. Jeez, we'll look it up.
Oh,
the word classic doesn't come to mind.
Man, if that's how you're feeling on a Monday.
National Odometer
I'd like to hear from you on Friday.
I feel like I got a lot of miles on this old body of mine, so I'm like, hey, what kind of car would I be if I was a car today? What kind of car would you be?
Should we put?
We
it on
have
the
what
poll?
I feel like and what I'd like to be. The Sweat and Edge makes me feel like a Ferrari, but I know that I'm trapped in a 1987 Civic.
Oh, man. That's really something.
Sometimes I just don't know. There's so many places we could go on the show. I'm not sure where to go next.
Yeah.
And the thought I had a moment ago, I'm going to stay away from.
Well, maybe that's.
And you'll never know what it was. Rod, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Chuck's out with an eye procedure today. Back tomorrow. Good morning, Rod.
Morning. I guess the eyes have it. What kind of car would I be? You ever see Cadillac Ranch where they bear the Cadillac's nose down after they're completely wore out and rusted through?
Yeah.
And
that's you.
I don't even feel like don't even feel as good as a Futura. I think I'm probably one of those Cadillacs buried nose down because my driver report says I have 4.87 million miles on these things, plus whatever I drive in my car, pickup. I have no idea what I got on that. So, yeah, if I were a piece of cheese, you could see right through me right now. I'm pretty much thin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
So the Aggies got swept by the Missouri Tigers. Bless their hearts.
Yep.
I mean, they'd commit suicide by jumping off buildings, but they probably only break an arm and a leg. The low rises they got down there, right?
All right. No death jokes, please.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, that's about it. I mean, I'm just sitting here staring at the road like I always do, wondering why all the highways look the same after a while.
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine that being the case for somebody who drives a truck every day. I don't have it in me. I don't know how you do it, but props to you because we need people like you, and we appreciate it.
Well, you do it by getting numb after a while. You kind of go completely numb, right?
Yeah.
Well, Pink Floyd. I mean, is there anybody in there? I'm not really sure if there is.
We threw a little Eddie in there at the end. Thanks for the call, Rod. 877-377-6963. Hey, let's go to the Situation Room. Chevy of Fayetteville, Situation Room. Bart, we've got the softball regional. Arkansas is the number 4 overall seed in the women's NCAA tournament. Can I say women's? Let me just softball. Let me remove the
softball.
Yeah, people are offended. Not offended, but Sterling asked me to stop.
It's just softball.
There's only one softball team. It's just softball.
Yeah. College softball.
College softball. Arkansas is number 4.
Yeah, the number
National
4 overall seed. So this is the equivalent of being a 1 seed in the men's or women's basketball tournament, if you want to look at it.
Give us the
that.
deets.
So not exactly what I would call a great draw for a team that is the number 4 overall seed. Oklahoma State coming to Fayetteville is really poor work by the selection committee. I feel they were on the bubble in terms of being able to host. They kind of faltered down the stretch a little bit, but they were in the conversation for one of those last hosting spots, and they somehow end up here in Fayetteville. They've been to 5 straight Women's College World Series. Oklahoma State has. Not the same team that they've been the past several years, but still really, really good. So tough draw. They will play Indiana. That game is on ESPN2 inexplicably, while Arkansas is relegated to ESPN Plus against St. Louis later that night. Indiana, one of the last 4 teams in the field. So we'll see what happens. It's probably going to come down to Arkansas and Oklahoma State, but you never know. And then this regional is matched up with the Tucson, Arizona regional, which features 13th overall seed Arizona, and some we'll see what happens there.
So
Arizona is a team who was here last year, and Arkansas has played Arizona in a super regional before. So it's kind of some fighting some demons situation.
It's interesting that Arkansas softball and baseball are very similar. They're playing as one of the best teams in the country, and we're seeing the other best teams in the country, and you're winning some and you're losing some, and you don't know what to think about what all that means. How do you feel about softball or baseball and their chances to make it to the College World Series and win it all? And it's hard to feel great because you're winning, but you're losing. But you're playing the best teams. And then we've got texts coming in saying, yeah, but they're going to play the best teams moving forward. I mean, yes and no. I mean, you're not necessarily going to play the best teams in a regional. Probably play a really good team in a super regional. And you expect to play really good teams in Omaha or in Oklahoma City, in softball's case. It really is right now about who's going to get hot.
Right. That's all it is.
I think you can play your way through a regional. You might even be able to play your way through a super regional without being hot. But when you get to the World Series, you got to get hot.
What Arkansas has in softball for sure, that a lot of teams just don't this year, which I think benefits them in a regional, a super regional, is they have two pretty good starting pitchers, right? You've got Robin Herron and Peyton Burnham, who's a true freshman who has really been exceptional all year. And Robin Herron, SEC Player of the Year, she was on the show a couple weeks ago. A lot of teams don't have that sort of pitching depth this year. And so that sets Arkansas up, if you win, if you get off to a good start, to really be able to, kind of hold teams to the fire and throw your best pitchers when other teams might be out of pitching.
When are you guys going to church up that background over there behind Bart? By the way,
it's on the to-do list.
I got a peek at the live stream, and it looks pathetic.
It's on the to-do list.
It's just a blank wall.
I'm thinking about like a neon sign, like a neon light sign.
Anything will work.
Maybe
anything will work.
Maybe a
Doris Burke picture, like a Doris Burke shirt that we had at one point here.
It's somewhere around here.
A picture of Clay. Why don't you put some pictures up of people we know and love?
That would be nice.
Yeah. Who's on the wall? Who are the pictures on the wall? Clay's in there.
Yeah.
A picture of Clay.
We should get a lot of pictures.
Clay holding a fish.
Of people that Bart doesn't like. Maybe Doug Shows.
Wow. That's a great call.
Thank you.
All the people Bart has banned from the world.
Yes. Doug Shows.
That's a lot of pictures.
That LSU hitter that yelled at him.
Can you be responsible for doing this?
I can do that.
You get the Walgreens.
I might need help with the
Walgreens
list.
photos. Take them to Walgreens. Get them, put it behind Bart.
Yeah, I can do that.
I don't want this to become a hateful situation room. A hateful space.
We don't have hate in our hearts. I've seen people with that, and it's ugly. We don't want that. We don't have hate in our hearts. We have love and forgiveness and humility and gratefulness.
I would like to know whoever was responsible for making the call to have co-champions of the softball tournament. They would earn a spot on the wall.
Golly. We could rotate it out.
Yeah.
We could rotate. That's what we need. We just need like some nails back there to hang the pictures on.
Maybe we do.
And we can rotate them every week. It'll be part of what people look forward to on the stream. Who's on Bart's wall
Maybe there's
today?
There's a bad one and a good one.
Yeah.
Bad guy of the week, Doug Shows.
Listen,
good
I'm just gonna like
Chuck.
Thank you for taking this off my list. You've got it.
Okay.
I'm actually getting. I'm getting
meeting.
more and more on board with the idea as we talk about.
That was a good
meeting.
There we go. Y'all got it. That was a good meeting. Thank you. Have it done by the end of the week.
If we could get like a neon situation room sign and then the photos around.
Yeah,
that'd be.
That's Bart in the Chevy Fayetteville situation room. Hey, if you've been thinking about upgrading your ride, which clearly we have been today because it's National Odometer Day.
And I did.
By the way, can you just text me what your odometer says today, please? just I want to just read off some odometers today. How many miles you got on that sucker? Let me know. If you're thinking about upgrading your ride, now is the time. Chevy of Fayetteville has the end-of-year savings happening in May. Right now, you can drive off in a brand-new 25 Silverado starting at just $34K. Looking for something bigger? How about a 25 Chevy Tahoe? $6,000 off MSRP. Or the Chevy Colorado $6,000 off MSRP. And if you want power and space, check this out. The new 25 Crew Cab Silverados up to $13,000 off. It's all happening right now only at Chevy of Fayetteville inside the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. Kids, there's never a good deal good enough with a bad person. Still a bad deal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got the experience and they've got your back.
So don't go it alone. Make the right call. Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet Card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's. Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Car Wash and get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
Yeah, does Chuck sleep that much? Because it just sometimes...
He's old, so, when you get old, you don't really sleep as much.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
One of the rules we set down when we started this show was we're not going to leave our best shots on the driving range.
We do it every day.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Twitter is absurd. We'll get into that later. I mean, the stuff that people put on Twitter that's not true and how people run with it is unlike anything I've ever seen. And I don't know what it is about that platform, but it doesn't seem to happen quite that way on other social media platforms. You know what? Twitter somehow gave social media a bad name. Like all of it.
Yeah.
Ruined it all for all of us. I need to know more about this.
I don't have anything.
This story about these leaders and somebody trying to make up that they had drugs in a spoon, and it's nothing but a tissue in a drink stir, and it's gone like beyond viral, crazy, and I'm just watching this play out. Like, how does this happen? How do, like, this is the world we live in, and you got to be aware of it, or you'll believe anything. And literally, people will believe anything. It's wild to me.
That's right.
It is wild to me. And you can't do anything to stop it. There's no. It's a runaway odometer. National Odometer Day. People are sending us in their odometers. Yeah. Send yours in. We've got like 40 odometer readings to get to. Send us your odometer. Tell us what it says today. Hey, if you don't want to drive a car anymore, maybe you just want to fly. Let me talk to a couple of different categories here, okay? Maybe you have enough money to have a jet service. Maybe you don't. If you don't, get a group of guys, friends, gals together and plan a trip by pooling your money and taking an amazing trip. Jet Aircraft, one of the Chuck and Bo partners. You literally drive your car right up next to the plane. They valet it. You can feel like a VIP. They'll detail it while you're gone. And when you're back, it's waiting. So no matter how many odometer miles you've got, it's going to look great when you get back. Fully loaded bar on this jet aircraft. Custom catering if you want it. Plenty of luggage space. Up to 9 people can fly. And maybe you're not in NWA. They can come to you. Maybe you're looking for a trip to Oklahoma City to the College World Series or Omaha to the College World Series. Round up your buddies, split the cost, turn that first-class fare into a private jet flight for your next golf trip. Ask about the Jet Card memberships for even more perks. Wherever you're headed, Razorback Golf for a weekend getaway. This is how you do it right here. JetNWA.com. That's jet with 2 T's. JetNWA.com for more details. 2013 CRV. How many miles is on that sucker? Dependable. Oh, I have a picture. I can't see it.
176,211.
We got a 1995 Oldsmobile with 89,000 miles on it.
That blows my mind.
We got a 97 Ranger with 307,000 miles on it. We've got a 06 Toyota Tundra SR5 with 156,000 on it. We got an 01 Chevy with 96,000. Then we just have some odometers. I like the idea of us knowing what the ride is with the miles. Include your Doug in Mountain Home has about 250,000 miles on his ride. Travis in Yellville has almost 200,000. Keep it rolling, baby.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off end-of-the-year savings this May. Drive home a new 2025 Chevy Silverado starting at just $34,000. Get up to $6,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Tahoe or Colorado. And up to $13,000 off a new 2025 Crew Cab Silverado. Don't miss these huge savings. Only at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge. Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I've come to a conclusion. It is unacceptable, to quote Eddie, it is unacceptable to lose to Missouri anymore at anything. I would just like to declare this today. No longer can you lose to Missouri in football. It is not okay. Like, somebody's got to stand up and say, you have to say, that is not allowed anymore.
Bo just had an epiphany now.
An epiphany, yes. It can't happen anymore.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
First pitch swinging, sends it deep, and sends it out. And the Oklahoma Sooners make history. Coming back from 5 runs down.
Proud of our fight today. Didn't go our way. We had a lot of momentum early, gave it away. We didn't really grab it back. You got the better of us today. But I'm proud of our fight. I know that today is going to make us even more ready for what's to come and hungrier for what's to come.
How about the 4 seed, Arkansas Razorbacks? They finished strong, and they will be playing at home in Bogle Park in Fayetteville, led by Brie Ellis, the SEC's Player of the Year.
Highest seed ever. We're just really excited to be home. We are looking forward to a fun postseason.
Line and caught by Aloy, and this one is over. The Hogs win 1 out of 3.
It was a really good win for our team, obviously. It's a tough place to win and to hold on to games, and proud of the team for bouncing back.
The Thunder will even this series at 2 games apiece as they storm into Denver and Ball Arena on Mother's Day and win 92-87.
Boy, the roller coaster of emotions this weekend. The Hogs blew a lead, or I wouldn't even say that. I don't like saying they blew a lead. Oklahoma came back. OU earned it, came back. Really, they're a tough out. They come back, they beat Arkansas in the semifinals, and then they share the championship with Texas A&M. OU and Texas A&M because of weather. So the league just decided not to play the game, which I don't know if I've seen that happen before. And the men on the baseball side find a way not to get swept, which was big at LSU. LSU playing really well right now. We'll get into all that coming up. But let's talk to KB Sides, former Razorback softball player, now SEC Network analyst with us on the Chuck and Bo Show. Chuck's out with an eye procedure today. Former SEC Player of the Year at Arkansas, KB Sides. KB, thanks for hopping on with us. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
What do you think of the women softball team and the number 4 overall seed? What do you think about the draw they got?
I think it's, awesome for Courtney Deifel, and they were more than deserving of the 4 seed. I would have liked to see a different team than Oklahoma State in there. And, I mean, it's just my opinion, not that it matters most or that it means anything, but I think, 1 through 8 seeds, I feel like they should get 100% the easier regionals. And I feel like time after time, again, you don't see that. So it's like you'll have some teams 9 through 16 that have way easier regionals, and it doesn't make much sense, but I think the Razorbacks are hot right now, regardless of their loss to Oklahoma, so I think they'll be fine having Oklahoma State in their regional, and same with Indiana, who's always pretty good. But I'm confident, and I think this is the year that hopefully they'll take it all the way to OKC, but I'm excited to see what they do this weekend.
What does it take to make your way through the regional and then the super regional? What do you have to be doing this time of year as a softball team?
So really it's not making, the moment any bigger than what it is. It's just, obviously it's not another game, but it's, you're playing the same way that you're playing any other SEC team that you've been playing all season long. You prepare for each game, and you want to give it your best game that you got. And, hey, no matter what happened before this point in the season, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is the most important part of the season. This is what you play for. It's postseason, so it doesn't matter if you're 0 for 20 right now. You're starting the season fresh at 0 for 0, and that's kind of how every team I was on, we took it in that kind of mentality, like, hey, who cares what you've done before this, because you can be a postseason hero, and that's all that matters. You want to do whatever you can do to get to Oklahoma City.
What do you like about Courtney Deifel's team, your former team, and what they're doing right now?
So one amazing thing that I've seen from Coach Deifel's team right now is one pitcher. Now, Robin, of course, she's the ace, but we've seen great things from Peyton Burnham. We've seen great things from Reese Burline. A couple of the freshmen thrown in there, too. They have plenty of pitchers to go to, but one thing I've been really impressed with, especially against Oklahoma, even though they did lose, is, you have a hitter like Bree Ellis in the lineup. She's obviously the best hitter in the lineup right now, but it's really important to see all the other girls clicking around her, like Reagan Johnson, of course, Kaylee, Wyckoff, and then you have Courtney Day. You have so many great hitters, Ella McDowell, in the lineup. Also, when Bree doesn't get the job done, like she, didn't against Oklahoma, that's probably her only game this season. She hasn't gotten it done, but you have other girls stepping up around Bree to get the job done, and I think that's what, they're going to need if they're going to make it all the way to Oklahoma City, is you have to have not necessarily everyone clicking at the right time. It's just a matter of getting that timely hit.
KB Sides with us, SEC Network analyst, former Razorback softball player, actually the SEC Player of the Year when you were at Arkansas. You've been in this program with Courtney Deifel. How do you describe, what it's like, what the culture's like, and what you experienced and what you're seeing with a program that just seems to be solidifying itself as one of the top 10 programs in the country?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, as everyone knows, I can't ever say enough about Arkansas and Coach Deifel and everyone that I played under at Arkansas, and just the support staff, athletic director, everyone that contributed to my year at Arkansas. It was just amazing. And the culture that Coach Deifel, she has built there, it's just second to none. And I think one thing that I think of when I think of the Arkansas softball program is just joy and love, and she's the same every single day. She's consistent, so I think that's, that brings out the best in players and athletes, and I think that's something that, you go back and you look at what she's done over the last 10 years. I was talking about it all weekend, and I was like, I know Coach Deifel hasn't made it to Oklahoma City, but not a lot of coaches can say in 10 years they've won 2 regular season SEC championships and 1 tournament championship. She's produced so many different SEC awards, so many All-Americans, and it's just incredible to see what she's done in the last 10 years at Arkansas. And not only that, but she built a program from the bottom. It's not like she walks into the best program in the league, So I'm very proud to have played for her and proud to have been a part of continuing to grow the program, because Arkansas will always have a special place in my heart.
You mentioned Bree Ellis, outstanding player of the year in the league. You were player of the year in the league. 2 of the best players that Courtney Deifel has had came from other programs. You came from Alabama. You weren't in a great situation. I remember interviewing you for the Hog Pod and telling your story. Bree Ellis, similar, told a story coming from Auburn, didn't like the situation. What is it about Courtney Deifel as a coach that takes players who other programs either are done with or, it's not working there, and creates this environment where you want to play for her?
So I remember, when I was talking to Coach Deifel, she was the first coach that I got on the phone with when I went in the portal, and I could just tell by, talking to her that she really cared. And, within 5 minutes of being at Arkansas, I think I canceled a few visits after I went there, because I just knew I wanted to go and play for her. You know what I mean? It was an easy decision to go and play for somebody like Coach Deifel, and that's something that I don't know. I wish I knew the answer, because I'd love for everyone else to be able to see it and experience the same thing, especially if they're not, getting their best out of another program. But, I had a great 4 years at Bama, and I loved my time there, but there was just something, I was missing that last year, and Arkansas gave it to me. And, that happens at a lot of schools, and that's okay, but I will forever be grateful to Coach Stiefel and, the Razorbacks, because she was able to pull out something in me that I knew that was there all along. But I think just how she carries herself, and she just so deeply loves and believes in every single person on her roster. I think that's what, she's consistent every single day. And I can't even explain. I just loved Arkansas. There's just nothing that I did not like. I loved every aspect of being on that team.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. How do you like being an analyst? Did you see this in your future?
My mom and my dad and a lot of people always wanted me to do it, but I wasn't sure how I would be. I guess just from hearing me talk on, with softball and different things, that I had done with you and just throughout my entire career. But I love it. It's a lot of fun. I love working with Brett Dolan. He's the first one I worked with. And then Josh, he's great. But, yeah, I love it. And I didn't think I'd end up doing it. But when they reached out to me, I was like, sure, I'll come by. And hopefully I'm not too bad at it. But I really enjoy it. It's just fun, looking at the game from that perspective. And it's a way to still stay involved in the game because coaching is just not for me.
Yeah, coaching's not in your future?
No, I mean, I used to do some camps here and there and lessons, but I don't know. Maybe one day. I doubt it. I completely doubt it. I'm in sales now, and I love doing that, and I make my own schedule. So my dad calls it a cupcake job, but he doesn't see what I do every day. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the job we're all looking for, Dad. What's wrong with that? Thank you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I told him. I'm like, you're the one that told me not to go back home and work at the furniture store, so I don't know why you're complaining about what I do every day.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad this has worked out for you. You do a great job. I'm glad the Arkansas move worked out for you. SEC Player of the Year and now an SEC Network analyst. KB Sides, former Razorback, thanks for hopping on with us, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you, but I appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you guys soon.
Yeah, great to have you on. She's got an amazing story. Basically, at Alabama, they were like, yeah, we don't think we have a roster spot for you next year. She gets in the portal. She comes to Arkansas, and she's SEC Player of the Year. You talk about a poor coaching decision for somebody and a great decision for somebody else. And it's like both of Arkansas's Player of the Years in the last 4 years have come from teams that basically made them feel unwanted. Like, yeah, we're kind of done with you. Thank you. And Courtney Deifel gets them, and they come here and they win Player of the Year. And now she's a SEC Network analyst. It's kind of a wild story. Hey, by the way, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash. So no matter how many odometer miles you have, and I'm getting tons of texts.
So many texts.
On people's odometers, and Bart can read some of them off. But our friend David has a 2015 GMC Denali pickup, and he said he's got 263,000 miles. 263,948.
Whew. I have considerably less than that on my vehicle.
He's on his way to Lebanon, Missouri right now. But no matter how many miles you have, yeah, you got a new vehicle. No matter how many odometer miles you have on National Odometer Day, you can go to Splash Car Wash for moms, dads, or moms, dads, and grads. The season is what it is. And they are running a special offer for Chuck and Bo listeners right now. You get one best car wash and then get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad. Or, hey, keep one for yourself. Because they know how good it feels to drive a clean car. They want to spread that around the family. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27 a month. So that's one membership that you're paying for, but you get 2 free. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322. Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access the exclusive offer to Chuck and Bo listeners. Back in a minute. Good morning.
You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, it was one of the great non-marriage times of my life, I'll tell you that. To meet Chuck Berry, the only thing that's even close to is meeting both.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wow, we've got some stunning odometer readings.
One that I need more information on this.
National Odometer Day. We're in the Situation Room, Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room, and we're reading odometers.
I need some information on this. Chris in Paris texted in that on his 2018 Volvo.
Hang on a second.
That's a Diet Coke,
That
folks.
sounds so good.
That's a Diet Coke, folks.
This made my mouth water.
They're in the fridge.
There you go. Yeah,
they're
right
in the
here.
fridge.
I'll have to grab
Well,
one.
here you can have half of that one.
Yeah, just throw it over here.
Well,
opened.
I'll walk
Opened.
it over to you.
Okay, so in the meantime, I need some more information from Chris in Paris. He texted in that his 2018 Volvo, if I'm looking at this correctly, has 773,360 miles. 773,000.
Is that a doctored odometer? I would think if it's doctored, you're going the other way.
Yeah, I just need some more information. Is like Chris, where have you been driving? Like
Everywhere.
to Alaska?
Where hasn't he been driving?
Yeah,
I'm
like,
amazed.
I have questions.
That's an amazing one. I'm also amazed at ones like this, the David in Fort Smith, 2004 Pontiac GTO, 5.7, 6-speed, 67,500 miles on the odometer. Fun ride for sale.
For sale.
But I mean, let's
host a car auction.
Some of these rides that have like a 24 Chevy Colorado with 3,200 miles on it. You get some of these are in great shape. We should start selling used vehicles on the air. But like
an auction, like Edward said.
Yeah, but more of these have 97 Ford Ranger with 307,000 miles on it. But like a 1995 Oldsmobile with 89,000 miles. I mean, do people not drive their vehicles?
Apparently not.
In some cases,
Apparently
no.
not.
Here's a 2011 GMC Sierra with over 250,000 miles on it. 173,000 miles on a F450 Ford utility truck. Don't send us your work vehicle. I'm just kidding. Obviously do. How about this? 2015 Chevy Silverado Z71 with 45,000 miles. I mean, what do you drive like 3 times a year?
Well, I mean, look, like I remember.
Do you take the bus?
I
You
remember
don't like the
my,
public transit system?
My grandmother had a Buick, right? And the only places she ever drove to were church, which was right down the street, and the grocery store, which was right down the street. She didn't drive anywhere else.
Yeah.
Oh no, to the hairdresser, which was also right down the street. Like that, those are the only things she did all week. Only places she drove, and so her car had very low mileage on it.
Well, D.
It was always a joke.
D from Fort Smith points out something that only he can. That some people, have their fun car, and then they have their everyday car. That's a different class of people, No, that's like the Jeep and the, whatever. I find that to be a lot to keep up with. I'm just going to have one. But I get it. I mean, some people love vehicles and they might have multiple cars. But 2020 Ford Ranger here, 46,000 miles on it. From David and Cersei. Well, that was fun. Thanks, guys.
I'm glad we did that.
I was just a little...
get to know the audience a little bit.
Get to know the audience. We're building community here.
That's right.
We're just, touching the lives of our Kansans.
And their odometers.
And the odometer on National Odometer Day. Tony Hawk is 57 today. Emilio Estevez is 63.
How about that?
It's George Carlin. His birthday today. R.I.P. No longer with us.
One of the funniest humans to ever walk the face of the earth.
Very funny. Very funny guy. Well, what else do we want to get into? We've talked about baseball. They're the number 8 team in the country now, right? Number 8 in the latest D1 baseball poll.
Number 8. LSU number 1.
Polls don't matter in softball anymore. Not that they ever really do, because we're into the postseason now. Arkansas is the number 4 overall seed. Easy for you to say. And KB Sides didn't like the draw. She's an SEC Network analyst, former Razorback Player of the Year. You don't like the draw either in the Situation Room?
No, I think the selection committee in softball, and this happens every year, and it happened for a long time with baseball too, and still does to an extent. But once more and more people started paying attention to it, they couldn't get away with some of the seeding practices they were using.
What do you think the issue is? Are they dumb?
No, I think they favor certain teams.
Are they stupid?
I think they favor certain teams and certain programs.
It's just straight out,
and sometimes
bias.
Regional matchups matter, or in keeping teams close for travel reasons matter, and then sometimes it doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no standard. There's no transparency. There's nothing like that, like there is with the the men's and women's basketball tournaments. So like they've got to do better. They've got to do better. They've got to be better. and they've got to give teams a fair shake.
Is Oklahoma State pretty good? Is that the problem?
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State should not be the number 2 seed in a regional with the number 4 overall seed. That should not happen. That under no circumstances should that happen. They should be in like the regional of the number 13, 14, 15, 16 overall seed. But you know,
it's geography. It's where they're.
Well, they say that, but then like Central Florida is the 2 seed in Texas, in Austin. So like, why isn't Oklahoma State in Austin? I mean, Central Florida is a good team. Don't get me wrong, but it just like they talk out of both sides of their mouth, and you never really know what their criteria is.
How about that?
So.
Again,
it used to be that way with baseball,
and then
still is a little bit, but not as much.
And then Arkansas is going to be on streaming and not on linear television, while they put Oklahoma State and Indiana on actual television.
Yep. The lot of things just not
whatever.
Making a lot of sense.
Whatever.
Just go win the games and take care of business and
into a super regional.
Hopefully host a super regional at Bogle Park next
weekend. We got to get Chuck out. We'll get Chuck out from. He's got an eye procedure going on today.
We got to get Chuck out there this weekend.
Get him out there this weekend.
He said he wanted to go.
He said he wanted to go.
He can see it crystal clear.
Sit next
with
to you.
His new eyes.
We should just have him call the game, just in the stands. If you would like to listen to Chuck call the game,
start a segment in this week called "What Chuck Sees Now."
2020.
What do you
Chuck
see,
Barrett.
Chuck? Ooh. Just go like.
Hey, maybe now you can throw a donut and it'll
go out in nature.
Oh yeah.
Go out in nature and just see things. Send him over to the trout stream with Clay. Just stand in the stream and look at the fish swim by. Look at those trout.
Yeah. Well, the
support of McDonald Eye is giving Chuck new eyesight today. That's great. Honestly, I'm excited to hear about it tomorrow. He would have been here today had he not eaten prior to his procedure that was supposed to happen the other day.
In the afternoon the other day.
It's just like, what are you doing, man? Come on. If you're dealing with a personal injury, struggling to get Social Security disability, or drowning in debt, call the team that fights for Arkansans. Bill Reynolds and the attorneys at Cadell Reynolds know how to get results when it matters most, from car wrecks to denied disability claims, maybe even filing for bankruptcy if that's your case. You got to have somebody on your side that helps you fight through it, and they've got your back. Don't face it alone. Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com for a free consultation. Cadell Reynolds, make the right call. We're a little bit over our head here, but we're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Car Wash and get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer. There's nothing we enjoy saying more than "I told you so."
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I was just thinking this morning on the drive in, boy, it's going to be nice to see Chuck. And I don't usually think that.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Happy birthday to Kyle Graves. I don't know how it didn't make the list on the show notes, but Tony Hawk's 67, Emilio Estevez is 63.
Tony Hawk is 67?
57.
Oh, well. 57. I was
Well,
like,
if you look at my notes, I accidentally had marked on it, and I can't read it.
Well,
so apologies to Tony Hawk.
To Mr. Hawk.
He's 87.
Gosh.
I mean, if you post it on Twitter, it's true.
We should just post
apparently.
that today.
Happy 87th birthday to Tony Hawk.
Just see what the response is.
So Kyle Graves, he's the CIC here at the Chuck and Bo Show, chief in charge. COO, CFO, CIC. He runs things. He helps us out. And I don't know how old he is, but let's go with 58.
No chance.
I'm at least 20 years off. I'm at least 20 years off.
Oh, yeah, more than that.
But so here's the thing, because people here really care about him, they have brought in things for his birthday. And he'll get here in a minute or two. If he's not, he might have just walked in. But they brought it in early to beat him here, and we're eating it all. Before he could even get to
shame.
it. Like there might not even be any left by the time he gets here.
Good thing Chuck's not
Like
here.
do not mess with a morning show. Do not tease a morning show with food prior to whomever it was for getting here.
Good thing Chuck isn't here with a afternoon
It's a
surgery
good thing
scheduled.
Chuck, right. It's a good thing.
He would have been ravenous.
I hope Chuck didn't eat this morning when he got up. Like just absent-mindedly had a Pop-Tart on his way into his procedure. I hope he had the procedure. I hope it went well. Somebody has texted the show and said that Chuck can now see, thanks to McDonald Eye, he can now see in 8K. That's good. That's good. That'd be good vision. I would.
Man.
Yeah.
I'd love some of that.
I had.
I'm heading down the same path Chuck's on at some point. Not anytime soon.
I had great eyesight at one point, and it's gone. I mean, I still have decent eyesight, but it's failing. I'm into the readers, into the progressives, thanks to McDonald Eye. I can still read. Like, I don't have to have them on the show all the time, but if I go to a restaurant and it's dimly lit and I can't read the menu. I'm a flashlight guy. It's embarrassing.
That is kind of embarrassing.
I mean, but you got it's not embarrassing enough to not do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see the menu.
You could pull up the menu on your phone, and do that, so you're not looking at you're not pulling out the flashlight.
I've sometimes it's interesting how you forget things. Like sometimes I'll take a picture of the menu and then I'll read it that way.
Yeah.
Or you could go to the online menu, and sometimes I forget that. I'm a flashlight guy again. How did I forget that? Now I'm like this
flashlight guy.
Well, right, and now
That's what my parents-in-law do. They're the flashlight people.
Right.
Flashlight.
And what do you
with readers?
Do you
low.
say anything?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we took a picture of
do
them
you
once.
Tell them
doing
hey,
pointed
there's a
and
better
laughed.
way to do this.
No,
you don't say it. You don't.
No.
Do you criticize them at all to their face?
Yes.
You do?
Oh yeah.
You just tell them, man.
We have a good relationship.
That's how good relationships work.
That's right.
Yeah. Criticize them to their face. You look very old, and this is embarrassing. Bo, turn the flashlight off.
You criticize somebody to their face in a joking manner or with love, as opposed to doing it online
in a very passive-aggressive way, in a joking manner, as if you're talking about somebody else.
Right.
I just notice people that have their flashlights. Oh, you got yours out. Do you not find that embarrassing? Because I'm kind of embarrassed, and I'm with you. It's embarrassing to me.
It's embarrassing for me too. So can we not, please?
All right, congratulations to Arkansas for avoiding the sweep. I thought that was a big win. Huge series coming up. I don't know if the top 8 national seed really hangs in the balance. I think Arkansas is going to be a top 8 national seed. I also expect them to win 2 games. By the way, did you see Tennessee? Tennessee's coming in Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Did you see them? They lost to Vanderbilt. They lose the series.
Yes.
And then after the game, had both benches cleared. Well, Vanderbilt was on the field celebrating and shaking hands, is what you do when you win. And Tennessee didn't like it. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. But then their bench cleared, and they got out there, got in the faces of Vanderbilt. And somebody tweeted that was so out of character for Tennessee to not lose with grace and class and dignity. I mean, this is the reputation of the Tennessee program.
Yeah.
One thing and maybe people don't care, but one thing about Arkansas that I think is pretty cool is not only is Dave Van Horn's programs, year in and year out, just not only are they really good, but I think you would just, if you asked around, that people would say that they're a class act. And that doesn't mean they're not competitive and they're not going to get after you and they're not going to fight you and all those things. It's just, there's not antics with this program. All these baseball teams that have these antics, and the way that they celebrate or, the way that they bat flip, that's just not Van Horn. And I don't know, I would say that's a nice thing to have said about you. That you win at a really high level and you do it with class. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, I agree. It's it makes a team fun to cheer for, right? And it makes them easy to root for, and it makes them easy to celebrate when they have success, because you've got just a group of solid guys who go about things the right way. And like that matters.
Yeah, I keep talking about top 8 national seed, and I, just to make sure everybody understands what that means, is that means if you're one of the top 8 teams in the NCAA tournament, you will host as long as you win up into the College World Series. So the reason that matters is so you have home field advantage for a regional and then a super regional. So if you're not a top 8 seed, there's a good chance you won't be hosting the super regional if you win the regional. But this ensures that as long as you're winning and you win the regional, and then you would host a super regional. And that's the best path to Omaha. It's not the only way, obviously. I mean, there's been years where Arkansas had to play in other regionals or super regionals and made it to the NCAA tournament. But it is also important for fans, because those are more great home games that you can go watch, which is what Baum Walker Stadium was built for, to host regionals and super regionals.
And like, it does matter. Like, there are stats out there. I'm trying to pull these up right now. But about home field advantage, 70% of the teams hosting a regional advance to the super regional. In the super regional round, 66% of teams hosting a super regional advance to the College World Series. So it's a big deal to be one of those top 8 national seeds. It sets you up with a clear path to Omaha. Or in the case of softball to Oklahoma City. The stats there are even more. They were talking about them on the selection show last night, and it was something upwards of 75, 78% of teams that host super regionals make it to the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City, if I'm remembering that stat correctly.
Well, if you're not, we'll find out. We'll hear about it. Hey, don't forget about hog trough gutters. If you're dealing with a drainage issue, or you need gutters, or the ones you have aren't getting the job done, I have an issue, and I'm going to call them. I got some standing water. I've told you about this. And I don't know why I haven't done anything about it, but it's time. It's time. And hopefully the rain's about done. We've had a lot of rain, and I know we need rain.
It's going to rain some more today.
But I'm ready for, maybe some non-rainy days. But with all the rainy season that's going on, you may notice you have some issues, and Hog Trough Gutters can help. Locally owned and operated, over 30 years of experience. They do it all. Seamless gutters made on site. Trenching and French drains, fully licensed and insured. Every job comes with a 20-year warranty. Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, if you're outside of that area, they could still help you. Go to hoggutters.com. You'll find a phone number. You can text a video or picture of the issue you're dealing with, and they'll get back to you and tell you what you need, or maybe it's a really simple fix, and you don't even need Hog Gutters to help you. But they're there for information as much as they are to help you with anything they could do. That's the best part about it. Hoggutters.com. Snap a photo, take a picture, text it to the number you'll find there. And also you can get all the information you need for Hog Trough Gutters at hoggutters.com. 8:45, good morning.
Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly, and Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at stonebreakerhotel.com.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got the experience and they've got your back.
So don't go it alone. Make the right call. Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today. With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
You want to talk about washed? You're being brainwashed by idiots. You're following idiots.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
on my bucket list is to be around a campfire with Chuck when he's got a couple in him. And I want to hear the stories.
I know anything I would say would be fodder for this show,
Absolutely.
and I would be made fun of.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck's had an eye procedure done this morning. Went well. He's back home. Resting comfortably. Just got the update.
That's great.
That's too bad. We'll be back tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Now it's great. He's going to see 8K now.
Yeah.
Chuck's going to be like,
I wonder what Chuck's going to
time for a new television now that I can see it. Now that I can see so clear, I'm going to need a better TV.
I wonder what Chuck's going to want to talk about on the show tomorrow.
Man, I don't know. I hope something because I was going to kind of take the day off prepping. Monday, I got to catch up.
Yeah. Catch up on some sleep.
Fayetteville Auto Parts, the #1 volume dealer in Arkansas for a reason. 25 years they've been in business for a reason. Trust, relationships, top-tier service. They got a lot of brand and a lot of pre-owned. Acura, Chevy, Honda, Toyota, huge selection, and then an unrivaled selection of pre-owned vehicles just off the bypass in Fayetteville. You'll find the Fayetteville Auto Park where you can drive with confidence. Bart, what did we miss today in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room?
Well, some NBA playoff news. The Pacers took a 3-1 series lead over the Cavs, 129-109 win there, while the Thunder have tied up the series with the Nuggets thanks to a 92-87 win.
That was a must-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oklahoma City.
So this is interesting. ESPN has indicated a willingness to increase its payments to the SEC if the conference adds a 9th game to the league football schedule, that according to The Athletic. So looking like the SEC will move to 9 games. When that'll happen, who knows? But that seems to be what's going. The Rockies fired their manager, the Colorado Rockies. They're off to a major league worst 7-33 start, even after a win yesterday. What a game! Fired the manager.
Wow.
To put that in perspective, everybody called the White Sox last year the worst team in modern baseball history. The Rockies are off to a worse start than they were.
Man.
So just kind of an abysmal.
It's such a long season, too.
It is.
You know how you get behind like Arkansas did on Saturday and they got run ruled for the first time this year?
Yeah.
And you're just in a hole early. You're spending the whole game trying to just get back in the game. I mean, you play so many games in Major League Baseball to get off to a rough start.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the longest season of all time.
7-33. That's a lot of losses coming for the Rockies.
You just want to start over and you can't.
Right.
They've got over 100 games left.
That's what I'm saying. It's awful. You got 120 games left.
I don't know off the top of my head what the record is for fewest wins or worst winning percentage, but this might be a team that's in contention for that.
How do you keep your fans engaged with that?
You don't. That's the bottom line. You offer $1 hot dogs and $1 beer to try to get people in the seats.
43-119 was the 2003 Tigers. That's the worst.
Oh,
season.
this team might be worse than that.
Can they
Tigers
win
team,
43 games? Probably not. Maybe.
I think we should update people.
A winning percentage of 265.
Minimum. That is a rough start.
Yeah.
We might get into some football tomorrow. The Whole Hog Sports came out with kind of a postseason review, position by position. But in the article, they talked about the schedule Arkansas has. And now people are starting to come out with post-spring preseason rankings. Clemson's #1 in one poll, by the way.
That is
Clemson's supposed to be really good this year.
That is not going to be the case.
But I want to look at, we talked about this last week, how schedule is such a determining factor in football.
Yeah.
And the conversation's never going away. How do you get better at football? What should the bar be set at? But evaluating the schedule is going to be something we dig into as the week goes on, probably. Have a great Monday.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else